Hi everyone and welcome to the top trending stories of the day. Now first up, tensions have been high across the country in the wake of the controversial ruling that acquitted former neighbourhood watch volunteer George Zimmerman of murder after he shot and killed 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. Well, since being released, Zimmerman has reportedly received death threats and even took to wearing a bulletproof vest at times. But there's another man who's also been receiving threats, George Zimmerman. That's Zimmerman with two N's. A 70-year-old Methodist preacher from Volusia County, Florida, with no connection to the case. Zimmerman told local news station WFTV that he's been receiving threatening calls at all hours of the night. One caller even told himself to dig himself a 6-foot hole. Now, WFTV has the details on that particular call, which drove Zimmerman to contact the local sheriff's department.
1 o'clock in the morning, which woke me up, which was pretty nasty. One at 3 o'clock in the morning.
He says the worst call came Saturday. He saved the message on his answering machine.
Hey, you the one who killed Trayvon Martin. When your get out, you dead. Wherever you go, you dead. Wherever you try to hide, you dead. Watch move. You think you free, you not. You better get ready to dig your 6 feet hole, because you know where you fit to go.
A couple of friends of mine said, hey, report it, in case anything were to happen.
Now, despite the continuing harassment, Zimmerman seems to be handling the situation well.
I guess if it made them feel better to vent, that's fine. I can live with it.
And Zimmerman did say that he hopes the calls will end soon and his life can get back to normal. That's scary stuff. Moving on to something much lighter. Now, if you were at the beach in Vera, Spain this past Sunday, you probably got an eyeful. 729 nude swimmers plunged into the Mediterranean Sea to break the Guinness World Record for the largest skinny dip. Now, local papers report that the successful record-breaking attempt took place at the Playa El Payaso beach around noon and hopes to bolster tourism in the small resort town. Now, organised by the town of Vera and the Spanish Naturism Federation, the event is donating the collected funds to charity. Guinness World Records confirmed to the Huffington Post that the current record for largest naked swim was set by 413 people in South Wales back in June 2011. Moving right along, a wannabe firefighter turned out to be a real-life arson, and his dreams of climbing that ladder have gone up in smoke. Firefighters responded to a fire at the East Hernando Branch Library in Brooksville, Florida, and immediately believed the fire was the work of an arson. What was even more suspicious was a strange young man wearing bunker gear, much like a real firefighter would. Well, according to the Sun Sentinel, the young man, 18-year-old Joseph Michael Brennan, told deputies that he wanted to be a volunteer firefighter and bought the equipment on eBay. But in a later interview with police, the firefighting hopeful confessed to setting fire to the building. Well, Brennan is charged with arson and his bond was set at $3,000. The damage from the fire is estimated to be more than $500,000, but it could have been much worse if the teen had actually tried to fight the fire himself. Now, up next, for any child suffering from a life-threatening illness, every birthday is a major milestone. But the parents of a young girl from Bakersfield, California are asking for others to help make the day a little bit more special. 7-year-old Emma Ritter was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when she was just 18 months old. And she's already been hospitalized over a dozen times. But this is the first year young Emma is going to be in the hospital on her actual birthday. Now, when her mum, Lisa Ritter, asked her what she wanted most for her big day, rather than asking for toys, she had only a small wish: for 100 birthday cards. Now, according to KGET, Lisa took the request online, posting the wish on Facebook. Then Reddit got hold of the story. Well, Emma's birthday was yesterday, and instead of 100 cards, she received well over 500. Now, if you'd like to send her a birthday card, you can mail one to Emma Ritter, room 506, care of the Children's Hospital, Central California, 9300 Children's Place, Madera, California, 93636. Now to something completely different. Birds of a feather flock together. And it seems that they might fight crime as well. Law enforcement officials in rural parts of China have employed police geese to help fight crime. It seems that geese are sometimes more effective than dogs for for a number of reasons. They have better eyesight, they are extremely aggressive, and as we all know, no matter how hard you try, you can't shut them up. Well, according to Smart Planet, geese have been employed as security guards for centuries. In 380 BC, these fierce fowls were housed in the temples of Rome to alert guards in case of attack. Now, geese guards have already helped nab a suspect who broke into a police station and drugged the police dogs. The geese fanned their wings and shrieked until the off-duty officer awoke. Now, if you think police geese would make a good movie, our next animal story is something straight off the big screen. Cast your mind, do you remember the 1981 Disney film The Fox and Hound? You know, this one.
Look at that. A fox and a hound playing together.
Well, it seems the idea of a fox and a dog being friends isn't that far of a stretch. Richard Bowler, a wildlife photographer living in Wales, adopted the red fox named Rosie back in April after its father had killed the other pups in the litter. The Bowler's mixed terrier, Maddie, stepped in as the young cub's guide. According to British press agency Rex Features, the two have been best friends ever since. Rosie, who is now 15 weeks old, is being housebroken and fully trained so that they can freely roam Bowler's 5-acre property. Ironically, Maddie's parents were bred to hunt foxes. It's kind of an unlikely duo. And now from real-life versions of Disney animals to the dark version of Disney princesses. When we think of Disney, we think of its famous fairy tale characters, but one street artist in Sweden has taken off their tiaras and handed them weapons. Take a look at this. The artist, known as Her Nilsson, told The Local the dark princesses are a comment on violence, but they are also a comment to how we look upon good and bad in the world. Everybody expects a fairy tale princess to always look good and behave well. If I was one of them, I would revolt. Well, while street art is fairly common in Sweden, graffiti is not expected to stay up for more than a day. And our last trendy story of the day. Blind dates are sometimes stressful and, more often than not, extremely uncomfortable. So to protect against total disaster, sometimes it's a good idea to call up a friend before the date and ask him to check in on you later, just to make sure everything's okay. Well, that's exactly what Imgur user Squishy Mittens Face tried to do. She wrote, "Okay, so I'm about to go on this blind date. His name is James. If I don't call you in 3 hours, I'm either dead or have been sold in a sex trade ring." Well, then she got back, "This is James. I'll see you in 10 minutes and don't worry, I won't sell you or kill you." Oops. Yeah. If you have to text your mate, make sure it's not your blind date. Just a thought. Anyway, that's it for the top trending stories of the day. Stick around. There is more HuffPost Live coming up next.